Okay, I'm not here to say that Santa Claus doesn't love kids the whole world over, because clearly he does. I mean, nobody spends that kind of time in a sled on Christmas Eve unless they're really invested. What I am here to say is that I think there are places on this planet that make Santa a little bit happier than others, and I think Newfoundland and Labrador has to be one of those places. So here goes. Here are 5 reasons that Santa Claus loves visiting Newfoundland and Labrador. Reason number 1, our half-hour time zone. Christmas gets to the island of Newfoundland a half hour before it gets to the rest of Canada and the United States, and that buys Santa some time. Enough time to deliver the presents at a more leisurely pace. Think about it. StatsCan says we have something like 220,000 homes here in Newfoundland. If you were to visit all of those in that half hour, that works out to something like 121 houses per second. Now, I know that doesn't sound very leisurely, but for a magical guy like Santa, that's nothing. Besides, think about what he has to do when he gets away from here. Like Toronto, they have 10 times our population, and they're only one city in the Eastern time zone. It's nothing but a rush. Newfoundland lets him slow down, enjoy the night, maybe have time for an extra cookie or 2. Reason number 2, Rangifer tarandus. That's the Latin name for reindeer. It's also the Latin name for caribou, because they're the same species, but not exactly the same thing. The term caribou is used for the wild animal, whereas the word reindeer is usually used for the domesticated version. And years of domestication have caused physical differences as well as behavioral differences. So Santa can tell the difference between a reindeer and a caribou, even if they are the same species. Newfoundland has caribou. Labrador is home to the George River caribou herd, which once had almost 1 million animals, and we're not even talking that long ago, the 1990s. But it's fallen on hard times, and the numbers have plummeted. People have worked hard to try and see a recovery, and the good news is, it seems to be paying off. In 2020, there was an increase in the herd size, and hopefully going forward, we're going to see that grow and get bigger year after year. Santa Claus loves a place that looks after its caribou, or its reindeer. Grab your coat, more on reindeer.
Speaking of reindeer, do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? That's right, Rudolph. It's right here in Newfoundland and Labrador that Rudolph really gets to shine, literally. We are one of the foggiest places on the planet, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. And when Santa gets here, he relies on Rudolph to navigate him through all of that stuff. And that makes Santa happy because he knows Rudolph's been sidelined for far too long, and he really gets to see him come into his own right here in our province. But Santa doesn't have to rely on Rudolph alone. He's got the good people here in Gander, Newfoundland, who work at NAVCAN, overseeing some of the busiest oceanic airspace on the planet. 1,300 planes on a typical day in a typical year. And Santa would never dream of taking that on without their help. He knows they have his back. And when he gets here, he knows he's among friends.
Santa Claus is among friends, but he's also among people who are going to let him kick it old school when he gets to Newfoundland and Labrador. And by kick it old school, I mean people are going to let him use a chimney. According to StatsCan, in 2011, 22% of the houses in our province were heated primarily by wood. More recently, in 2018, Newfoundland and Labrador's Department of Fisheries and Land Resources issued 25,000 domestic wood cutting permits. That sounds like a lot of wood smoke to me, and where there's wood smoke, there's chimneys. Where there are chimneys, there's a very happy Santa Claus. One more reason he loves this province. Anybody who's been to this province can tell you it's a special place. Santa Claus is no different. From our half-hour time zone that lets him relax a little, our foggy night skies that give Rudolph a chance to shine, and the help he gets from Gander Air Traffic Control, Santa Claus holds a special place in his heart for this province, and he looks forward to getting here every bit as eagerly as we await his arrival. He loves it here.